comes from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 17. And our castle call out today is Armor Up with Justice. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Armor Up with Justice! Good day, Knights of the North Castle. Welcome back to Bible storytelling, or as I like to call it, Story Hall. On last week's quest for the king's armor, we explored the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Remember? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Or Shad, Shaq, and Benny, as I like to call them. They showed us the way to the belt of truth. When we stand for what is good and true, we know that we're standing in for God's way. Today we have another quest for even more of the king's armor. Before we ride out, let's prepare our hearts for the banner verse from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Why don't you say it with me? Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Today's tale involves a giant. So let's rise and walk like giants as we say our banner verse with big booming voices. Be strong in the Lord and the strength of his power. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Huzzah! In case you don't remember, that's knight speak for cool or very good. Today's tale from the King's Book is from the Old Testament book called 1 Samuel. The action takes place on a battlefield. Sit you down now and have a story. Oh no, I'm so sorry. We're going to have the story later. I have to make this cannon for a science experiment out of a bucket and a rubber band and a bungee cord, and I'm very confused. So I'm going to have to come back and we'll do the story later. All right? We'll see you soon.
Hey guys, Pastor Nicole had to go and do some science experiments, but I stole her book. Yay! I'm going to tell you the story about David and Goliath. But we're going to do it a little different. We're going to do it as a tone poem. A tone poem is a piece of music that depicts through sounds a poem or a story. The following is a tone poem based on the story of David and Goliath. Listen as I read each part of the story. Then I'll invite you to perform a sound to depict that part of the story. Okay? Are you with me? King Saul and the Israelite army stood on one mountain, and the Philistine army stood on another mountain. Down into the valley trudged the Philistine giant, a big bully named Goliath. Now, can you stomp with me? Stomp 6 times. Stomp, 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 stomp. Goliath challenged everyone from the Israelite army to fight him one-on-one. If Goliath won, the Israelites would have to serve the Philistines. But if an Israelite challenger won, the Philistines would serve the Israelites. Everyone waited for someone else to step forward. Okay, now everybody be really quiet, because it was a long, quiet pause. But no one did. They were all terrified. Pat your chest to sound like a racing heartbeat, okay? Pat, 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 pat. Oh, I'm even scared and I'm not there with Goliath. Then a young shepherd boy named David came forward. Now rub your hands together like you're walking along a grassy path. Saul told David he was too small and no match for the big Goliath. But David insisted that God had protected him from lions and bears, oh my, when he was a shepherd. God would protect him against the big bully Goliath. David then picked up 5 smooth stones. Clap your hands 5 times for those stones. When David went out to meet Goliath, the giant laughed. Ha 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 ha! Was that a good bully Goliath laugh? I bet you can do better than I did. But David took one of the stones, placed it in his sling, and struck Goliath in the forehead. Clap loudly, really loud. Wow, that was a good hit. Goliath fell to the ground. It's okay, I'm okay. When the Philistine army saw this, they ran away as fast as they could. Pat, 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 pat. Saul and the Israelites cheered for David, who, with God's help, stood up to the bully Goliath. Whew! Wow, let's cheer. Let's cheer. Big round of applause, everybody. Yay, David! Yay, David! Good job, David. Way to have faith and justice and peace and truth. Whew! David did a great job in that story. I wonder when Pastor Nicole's coming back. Have you seen her anywhere? We could have way too much fun with this. I'll see you next time.
Whew. Making that cannon was sure hard. Have any of you seen my book? Where did my storybook go? Sparky, what are you doing with my storybook? Do you guys know what happened? This is strange. I think I need to go get a drink of water before we start our story. Hey guys, welcome back to Knights of the North Castle. In our story today, God helped David have the faith to face Goliath and win. North Castle also needs protection, so let's see how well this cannon can protect us all. This cannon is a 5-gallon bucket that we cut a hole in the bottom of. We've got a shower curtain liner and a bungee cord, and we've attached the shower curtain liner with a rubber band. And all we've got over here is some Dixie cups. So I'm going to stand at the end of the table here and show us how this works. So we've got our bungee cord, and we're going to go 3, 2, 1, fire. Maybe a little bit closer. 3, 2, 1, fire. Well, we got one. Wonder if a different bungee cord would work. I'm going to use a different size bungee cord this time. And let's see if we can adjust it. I've got a little bit more bungee on this one. 3, 2, 1, fire! Wow! Maybe sometimes we need a little bit more help than just a little bungee cord can provide. An air cannon may not be very useful in fighting for justice, but our relationship with God helps us to know what is right and helps us to stand up for justice for others and for ourselves. And this is a really great lesson for us in this time, in the world we live in today, because we need to be fighting for justice everywhere we go. We'll see you soon, guys.
Hey guys, I wanted to tell you a little bit about how the giant air cannon works. Our air cannon was made out of a 5-gallon bucket and a few extra other things. But when you pat the plastic on the bucket with the bungee cord, it collides with the air inside the cannon and sends air flying toward the opening at the bottom of the trash can. However, the hole to the outside is much smaller than the pocket of air trying to get out. Air molecules on the edge brush against the side of the hole as they squeeze out, so that air moves more slowly and curls backward. This creates a vortex or swirling mass of air that holds together as it moves. If you have a smoke machine, you can fill the air cannon with smoke and see the shape of the vortex too. Whoa, that would be cool.
Welcome back to the Knights of the North Castle. Today in our story, God helped David have the faith to fight Goliath and win. North Castle also needs protection, so today we're building some catapults to protect it. We are going to give you the instructions on how to use and create these catapults, but we're going to show you how it works first. So my friends and I have made a couple catapults here, and we'll see which ones work to defeat our enemy, the magical cups. Well, so we'll say. So we're going to try and see if our little catapults here. Maybe not that one. Wonder if I used a marble, if it'll... I don't recommend using the marbles. Let's try a different catapult and see if it works. Yeah, maybe not that one either. Let's see. I'm running out of papers. I might need to go get my papers. Let's make some more little papers. You can use marshmallows. You can use little scraps of paper. Anything that's soft. Maybe some cotton balls. Probably not the marbles. I tried the marble, but it doesn't really work, and it might be a little dangerous. Well, this one doesn't even get off the ground. Let's see. We've tried this one. We've tried that one. Let's see if this one works. Well, that broke. I wasn't very successful at protecting North Castle today. Maybe you'll have a little bit more success. When we think about our catapults, these catapults may not actually protect our castle very well, especially if we're firing marshmallows or little wads of paper. But fortunately, our relationship with and commitment to God and God's children will help us to stand up for justice and help us to do a better job at protecting our own selves and the world around us from the evils of this world. So today we learned about the story of David and Goliath, and we're going to talk a little bit about bullies and how this story can help us understand bullies in our lives and in our world today. Bullies can make us feel small and alone. In fact, bullies tend to pick on people who appear to be all alone. Do you remember who was the bully in the story today?
Goliath.
Right, and Goliath was bullying the Israelites by insulting them and their God. Goliath was humongous. He's really big. And one person who believed in God's justice went out and faced Goliath. That's this guy over here. Do you remember who that was? David. Many people read the story of David and Goliath and think, see there, David stood up to Goliath. He bonked Goliath right in the head with a stone and saved the day. So we should always stand up to bullies. But often when someone smaller stands up to a bully, the smaller person gets clobbered. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Sometimes the smaller person gets taken out or clobbered or something like that. So when we have the bully, Goliath, we have the ones being bullied, the Israelites or the Davids. We have someone who risked bodily harm to stand up to the bully, and that was David. Tell me who else is part of the story. Who else is part of the story?
God.
God is part of the story, and that's the key. David didn't just act on his own. David wasn't alone at all. God was there, showing us, as God often does, the best way to handle the situation. God didn't stand against Goliath so much as God stood with David. Do you know that by simply standing with another person who is being bullied can cut bullying in half? Isn't that amazing? If you stand up with somebody who's being bullied, you're going to cut bullying in half. That's pretty awesome. And that has amazing power to be the person that stands with someone who's being bullied. We can cut bullying in half without throwing a single stone. We don't even have to do anything. Just stand there with somebody. It's not about who you stand against, though. It's about who you stand with. It's about what you stand for. So, for our Knights of the North Castle, who is willing to take a stand right now for what matters? And I'm going to encourage you guys at home to do the same thing. Are you willing to stand up for justice?
Yes.
Okay, stand up. We'll stand up together. We'll stand up for justice. Will we all stand up for one another? Can we do that? Can we stand for one another?
Yes.
Will you stand for truth and justice?
Mm-hmm.
Then let's shout our castle call out for today, which is armor up with justice. Let's say it all together. Armor up with justice. Let's say it again, a couple times. Armor up with justice. Armor up with justice. Armor up with justice. Once again, all of you, like true and noble knights, you've done the right thing. Huzzah!
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 What does that mean?
It means, like,
It's just cool. So let's sit back down and we'll do our prayer for today. And Aiden's going to help me with our closing prayer. And you can follow along with us and say what Aiden says. Our closing prayer is called a call and response prayer. I will pray my part, and then you will respond by praying out loud, God is standing with me. God is always there. Okay? Let's try your part.
God is standing with me. God is always there.
There we go. Let's pray. In the morning, warm and bright, in the middle of the night.
God is standing with me. God is always there.
When my heart is full of song, when I put my shoes on wrong.
God is standing with me. God is always there.
When I'm leading in the race, when I'm running in last place.
God is standing with me. God is always there.
In my classroom, church, or home, with my friends or on my own.
God is standing with me. God is always there.
Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.